afternoon. My name is Suzette, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to the Noble Hosted Overview for TelStar customers. All lights have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. If you should need assistance during the call, please press star, then 0, and an operator will come back online to assist you. Thank you. I would now like to turn the conference over to Mr. Randy Bassett. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. My name is Randy Bassett. I'm the Senior Solutions Engineer with Noble Systems. Today we are going to do an overview presentation of the Noble Hosted Platform. This is intended for the users of the TelStar services. We realized that TelStar was offering 3 different types of products: the TouchStar platform, the DataTel platform, and the VocalCom platform. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to give you an idea of moving into the Noble hosted environment, what some of the advantages are, what the environment looks like, some of the features and functions that you'll be able to utilize within the Noble hosted environment. This is a lecture format as far as the webinar, so the phone lines will be closed. But I do encourage you, if you have any questions, on your toolbar, menu bar up above, you'll see a Q&A area. If you do have any questions at any time, if you'd like to key them in, I'm going to wait till the end of the presentation, which should take about 40 to 45 minutes. And then the last 15 minutes or so, we'll go ahead and answer any questions that you may have submitted through the Q&A portal on the webinar or WebEx capability today. And then also, if you have any additional questions that may not be answered, I'll go through the process or the contact information that you can utilize to be able to get your questions answered. So with that, we'll get started. Oh, by the way, I do have on the call with me Todd Plecker. Todd was a Chief Technical Engineer with the TelStar organization. Todd, at the time of the acquisition of the TelStar customer base, was brought into the Noble environment. Todd's now an employee with Noble. We also were able to retain a few other technicians, James Klausner, Jason Slinsog. So if you're familiar with any of those people, they are now Noble employees. They will be assisting us in this transition process and be available to answer any questions or help in any way, shape, or form as far as making sure that the transition from your present platform into the Noble hosted environment goes as smoothly as possible. Todd will also join me at the end of the session today to help answer any questions that may arise that are of TelStar nature. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So essentially where I want to start out today is to talk about some of the platform differentiators. Obviously, you're experienced with a call center environment. You've been utilizing TelStar and possibly before that some other dialing solution. If you're unfamiliar with Noble, I'm going to point out some of what we consider our differentiators and things moving forward that will be a benefit to you. One of them is that the Noble system is the next generation technology platform. When I say next generation, is that we're really pushing all of our activities to be web-based. Our agent experience is run off of a browser. A lot of the management tools you're able to run in a mobile device such as an iPad. Anything that has a browser on it, it allows us to be able to be flexible as far as the type of platform that you're using. It can be either a Windows-based, a Linux-based, a Mac-based type application. We can run over a number of different types of computing platforms, machines. So, you know, some of the restrictions you may have had in the past, this should open up your horizon to be able to allow you to do a couple additional things. So another part of our technology platform is that we are actively enhancing it, developing new features all the time. By you becoming a part of the Noble family, all upgrades, all additional features that are come about will be available to you. Some of them will be free of charge. Some of them will be covered under just a normal upgrade process. And then under any other features that are available to you, they'll also be made that if you need those, we can add that into your environment. You also will have custom development services. So if you want to do something from a custom standpoint, maybe a database access or incorporate a different type of workflow, we have that custom development service capability. I mentioned web services. We also offer SOAP and LDAP or Active Directory type support. We also support many third-party interfaces. So if you're using some collection software, financial database type applications, we do support that third-party interface with those. Web-based agent experience. Our web agent, we consider it called Composer Web. It's a deployable application, as I mentioned before, on anything that is browser-based. We can do it in the Internet Explorer. We can do it in Firefox. We can do it in Google Chrome. So anything that will support a browser, our application will run in it. And then also we offer extended capacity for agents and message blasting. So if you have peak times during the year and you need extra capacity, we can easily arrange for you to have that expanded capacity. Some of the feature sets that the Noble system offer you are per-call filtering and something that we call anti-stuffing. Our filtering capabilities are very superior. It gives you the capability to get very granular on deciding what the next call is going to be made. Our philosophy is that you have control of your dialing strategies. You know what works best within your environment. So we give you the tools to identify the best methods and be able to put them in template format. So from one day or one hour or one shift to another. You can change your dialing strategies just by clicking on different templates, and they'll immediately go into effect. And our dialing filters will allow you to identify the very best next call to make. So we help you along those lines. We also offer what's called grid or owned accounts, where if you are assigning specific accounts to an individual agent or a group of agents, they will have visibility to their dialing list for the day. They can either pick and choose which calls are being made. If they are working on a call, it's locked, so no other agent can get into that call or that account. But it gives them the flexibility to be able to decide what the next call they need to make as opposed to the system allocating the calls in the predictive or the preview mode type of dialing. We offer agent voicemail. We have a very high-level email response management system that performs many types of functions within the system. We can support inbound email, have a direct response that's directed to an agent through our skill-based routing. The response can be customized, personalized to that particular request, and sent back out. Gives you the capability to track that email all the way through your system, just like you track a call right now. So you have that historical information pertaining to that particular email. You will have improved IVR functionality and the ability to use text-to-speech. We know in the TelStar system you were somewhat limited in the IVR capability because the majority of it had to be initiated through the support departments. Well, in the Noble platform, you will have the ability to create your own call flow, be able to design it and do maintenance on it if you so desire. So that's part of the hosted package. Another buzzword that we have in the Noble system is right party contacts, or RPCs. Part of our philosophy is that, you know, the right party contact, if we can identify that and be consistent with it, it will do two things. It will reduce the number of phone calls you need to make, and then also make each phone call more productive. So, you know, what our philosophy is that we are trying to enhance your entire productivity environment, and we give you tools to enable that right party contact type of connection. We also support social media. When I say social media, I mean things such as if you've got an account on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, or even SMS text messaging. We allow both inbound and outbound traffic, so you can maintain a constant conversation with somebody through a non-verbal or non-audio type of connection. It's we consider it a contact solution, so you can perform your work either through a phone call or someone can inquire through, like I said, these different channels of social media. If you're not using it now, keep it in the back of your mind. The system does offer that capability, and we're finding more and more of our customers moving into that technology as the industries evolve. And then we also have intelligent call pacing algorithms. We give you the ability to go in and adjust things such as your targeted wait time between calls. We have a compliance dialing setting where if you need to maintain compliance dialing for regulations, the compliance dialing will lock that campaign so no one else can change it other than you or a super user in the admin, so you can be assured that the compliance settings will be maintained, and you don't have to worry about someone going in and changing them just because it's the system may not be performing as well as it could possibly be, but your goal is to maintain that compliance dialing environment. Some of the enhanced management features we have, we've got remote management capabilities. I mentioned that we can be utilized off of an iPad. We've got an application that can do your real-time supervisory type of efforts off of a remote iPad, so you don't even need to be in your call center to be able to control it. And then you also will have complete audio monitoring capability off of that iPad or that web-based mobile device. We have a full complement of automated management features. We prescribe to the idea that if you're going to do the same thing the same way multiple times, why don't we automate it? So we give you the ability to build templates, and based on those templates, it really speeds up the process. And we also can go as far as actually scheduling those templates or processes to be able to be run automatically. We have reports and a report scheduler. So our reports, you can generate the report. They're actually archived, so you don't have to run the same report for the same slice of data many times. Once it's run, it's archived, so you can use it many times over. You also can schedule those reports. The reports can be at the end of the shift, the end of the day. They can be sent out in multiple types of formats, PDF, Excel, Word document, and XML. And then also that schedule, it can go out to multiple recipients. The recipients would receive it by email. So our report scheduling capability is built right into our report option. And then another enhanced feature is that we have screen monitoring. It's tied into our audio monitoring capability. We've got the capability to listen to calls, coach calls, barge in on the calls, but on top of it, you also have the ability to view the agent's screen. So if you're monitoring, it's a great tool to have to be able to know exactly where on the screen or at what page in a script an agent's working at, and you can give them tips or guidance based on what you see at your workstation. We've got QA features and real-time dashboards. The QA features come with call recording playback, so you can listen to the calls, but also we have a scorecarding feature that's built into that. So you can create a scorecard based on the effort of listening to the calls, reviewing the calls, and then you'll have a concise scorecard that's associated with that review. So that scorecard can be passed out to either supervisors or agents or managers, depending on who you need to distribute that to. So let's go in and let's look at our agent desktop experience. Essentially, within our agent application, this is totally designed by you. I'm showing you an example right now of a common type of script that can be created. Essentially, what the pictures on the right-hand side are showing on the green area across the top are the toolbar where you can do things such as setting callbacks, do call transfers, start or stop recordings, put a call on hold. Any of those features can be given to an agent, or if you don't want them to have it, we'll just remove it from the toolbar, or you'll remove it from the toolbar, I should say, so they don't have that functionality. So everything below that is a browser window. The browser window is created using our Composer Designer application. You're basically starting out with a blank slate, and anything you want to put in there, you can. You can make it as simple as just a talk-through script and maybe a list of dispositions, or you can have, you know, some dynamic features in there where maybe you present the beginning of the call with just a short list of available options, and as the call progresses, as the agent selects different options, it will display or move you to different pages, so you can build on the call based on the nature of it. So it can either be, you know, a workflow, beginning to end type of situation, or it could be a condition-based type of experience where based on these conditions we're going to send them into different areas of the script. So you'll have complete control on the creation of that script. That's part of the training that you'll receive. Essentially you'll be able to implement it using whatever needs that you have within your call center. We can incorporate multiple applications within a single desktop. When I mentioned that, you can bring in, you know, calculators, you can bring in outside web services, you can bring in Excel spreadsheets if needed. It allows you to implement business rules and workflows to decrease your call handle time and be more efficient with it. So, you know, being able to build it dynamically based on what your needs are, you know, we're here to work with you to make your business as profitable and productive as can be. So we have a lot of tools, a lot of experience in this area, and we're more than happy to work with you to help you create this environment. We can incorporate scheduled callbacks. Along the toolbar, if you have an agent-generated callback, you'll actually get a flashing warning, and the agent can pull that up, and they can actually see their inventory or what callbacks are scheduled for them for that day. They can either initiate the callback immediately, they can let the system run its course, or maybe they want to delay it based on whatever needs. Also within our Maestro or our Management Console, we have a callback maintenance area where you have a full list of all the callbacks that are scheduled and which agents they're going to go to, and you can reassign them. Maybe an agent calls in sick one day. You can go in and see their callback list, identify the calls that are scheduled, and then reassign them either to a different agent or maybe delay them to a different day and time. I mentioned the account ownership with debtor or contact management grid, which allows you to assign specific calls to specific agents or groups. And then we also have a very highly sophisticated blended call management setting here. So if you're taking both inbound and outbound calls, the system will dynamically adjust itself to arrange in such a way that the inbound calls have priority. As the inbound queue builds up, it will slow down or even stop the outbound dialing until the inbound queue comes to a manageable level. And then when the system realizes that it has agents available to go back on outbound calls, it will automatically just start dialing the outbound calls again. So our call blended management is very sophisticated in nature as far as being able to help you manage both that inbound and outbound call flow. I'm now going over to our management area. Within the Noble system active agent screen, similar to what the TelStar application has, we offer you some real-time information as far as what an agent is doing. Here's an example here on the right of what our active agent screen looks like. You can either have it in these large icons with pictures, or you can reduce the size of the icon to a smaller icon with still the picture on it. Or if you need to, you can actually present it in a grid format, so it's like in a linear. So similar to what you have in the TelStar active agents area in Supervisor right now, you can look at it that way, but most of our customers prefer to use it in the large icon view, and we can also separate it based on different groups. So if you're managing one specific group, maybe you don't want to see all the agents in the call center, you just want to see the agents assigned to you, so you can separate those so that's all you're viewing. Within here, it gives you the capability to set visual warnings. Those warnings or alerts can be constructed at the campaign level, and then they can be associated with the different statuses, call connected, wait time between calls, after call work, deassigned. If an agent station hits that status and exceeds that threshold, that time threshold in seconds, it will start flashing to notify the supervisor that there's a problem or that they've exceeded that warning or alert threshold. Simultaneously, the agent station can also be set up to flash. So not only are you seeing that alert at the supervisor's console, but you're also seeing it at the agent desktop. So it's a very effective tool to let the agent know that they're in alert status and they need to do everything they can to move on and get out of that alert status. We also have real-time audio and screen monitoring capability. The example that we have out right now is under the audio option. You can see that we have the listen, coach, and barge capability, but we also can view the screen. So this is different from the TelStar application where you're doing your monitoring through another agent, a licensed agent application. In the Noble world, we've moved that into the management console, so the manager can do that without utilizing an agent license. Production monitoring. For inbound service levels, we can give you the ASA or the amount of percentage of calls that are answered in so many seconds, and then we can list the exceptions and identify when something exceeds that, so you can adjust the level of agents in a campaign in real time. We've got campaign and list execution, so a single campaign can actually have multiple lists. So you can have 3 versions of the same campaign or as many versions as you want, and each of them can be running a separate list. So that gives you the capability to keep track of maybe if you buy new lists or you have a hot list and you want to see the performance of it. It'll separate the statistics out for just that list, but it will also give you a combined historical statistic readout for the campaign for all the composite lists that are in there. So it gives you that level of execution to be able to separate that out. And last but not least, we've got real-time performance dashboards that will give us some information such as how many records are left in a campaign to be dialed. We'll also do a calculation to give you an estimate of how many minutes or seconds are left based on the number of agents that you have logged in and the amount of calls you're making and the time on the calls. There can be alerts set up for that, just like we can do here in the active agent screen. Those alerts can give you that information that, hey, you're going to be running out of records within this list within 5 minutes. You need to act on it. So instead of the agents coming to you saying, hey, the dialers stopped dialing, and then you go in and finding that there's no records in the list anymore, the system actually works proactively to help you identify that prior to that situation happening. Under our list management, this is where you would attach your outbound dialing list to the system. This is where we get into our segmentation or our templates. We can create multi-dimensional segmentation or profiles. We can automate the list building based on profiles, build lists on the Noble database or directly from external databases, and then use different list sort strategies for better focus and fewer repetitive attempt times. So essentially we give you the option to do things such as your data mapping. We can do alternate phone numbers. We can do up to 20 alternate phone numbers per record. And each alternate phone number can be identified specifically. Maybe it's a primary would be probably your residence phone number. You can identify cell phones. And once we've made that identification and mapped those into those particular fields, then we can do some sophisticated filtering based on that identification process. So we've identified that we have work numbers or cell numbers, and you may want to have different dialing strategies than you do to the primary. Maybe you want to restrict the number of phone calls you make to the workplace, and we can do that based over a running series of days. Or maybe you want to restrict the number of phone calls you make to a cell phone. So that's one of the differentiators that we see gives you that capability to get a better throughput and be able to handle your calls in a more professional manner. We also have the input filter capability. So as you're importing your data, you've got the capability to filter it. So maybe you only want to bring in records of a certain demographic or maybe a certain area of certain states. So once you've created your templates, then you go into the third picture on the right, which is our profile. So essentially all you do is you pick the profiles or the templates you want to use. You pick your data mapping, you pick your list, you pick your campaign. If you're going to do any alternates, you pick your alternate filter, you pick your import filter. We can dedupe, we can add new records, we can append to an existing list or remove records from the old list. You've got a preview capability prior to the list being loaded. The preview capability gives you the capability to do data management. So maybe you don't need to load this list. Maybe you want to extract some information out of it. So we can identify the information you need to extract, and you can export it out into a clipboard or maybe an Excel spreadsheet for further processing. But most people at that point do go ahead and load it. So at the point where it's loaded, it's immediately ready to be dialed. If you are appending to an existing list, you can actually load records in real time, and it won't affect the actual dialing that's taking place in real time for the existing numbers. And then we also have a automated list scheduler. So if you need to schedule specific date and times as far as how you are going to be dialing, maybe you want to set up a schedule a week in advance, a day in advance, an hour in advance, and you want to be assured that that list will be dialed at that time. Our list scheduling capability gives you that peace of mind that once you set it, we don't like to say set it and forget it because you still want to maintain, some oversight on the system, but you will know if you set a particular campaign or list to run at a certain time, it will run, and then all you need to do is just manage to it. Dynamic list management allows real-time insertion of new records. We can schedule the insertion if need be. We can exclude records. I was just on a phone call earlier this morning with a customer in Fort Lauderdale. They are starting to experience some of that weather from that hurricane that's coming through Cuba right now, Hurricane Sandy. Maybe they want to exclude certain areas. She was mentioning, it would be real nice if we could exclude not dialing down into the Keys because we don't want to bother those people right now. Well, our excluding capability not only lets you exclude based on area code or time zone, but we also can get as granular as we can exclude cities, states, zip codes, whatever demographic you have about a particular area. You can go ahead and you can identify that based on your input data if it exists, and then you can do exclusions based on that. So it takes it a little bit step farther than just being able to exclude based on area codes or zip codes. Our emphasis is to do first call resolution, and if you do resolve the problem or get a successful outcome of the first call or any call, if you have that phone number across multiple lists, we can go ahead and we can identify that record in other lists automatically and make them ineligible to be called. So if we're trying to contact somebody in a number of different ways, we may have their phone number loaded into several different types of campaigns. Not only can we make a final or a complete designation on the campaign that we're on, but we also can identify that phone number across multiple campaigns and make that a complete or a final at that time. So that's some of the list management capabilities within our system. Call blending and pacing to increase your RPCs or right party contacts. I mentioned before we've got call-by-call blending. That gives you the capability to do predictive pacing algorithms to evaluate inbound service levels. Inbound is prioritized over outbound on every call. We've got answering machine detection and non-contact type settings. So if you make a call, it's a busy signal and no answer, we can devise different recall type of strategies for those different type of non-contact type settings. You know, if you reach a busy signal, obviously you may want to try dialing that phone number again in 5 minutes. In the TelStar system, when you do your recall strategy, it says that it's available to be redialed in 5 minutes. It doesn't necessarily guarantee it will be dialed. In the Noble system, when we set it up to be redialed in 5 minutes, it will actually come up, be queued, and dial again in 5 minutes. So those are some of the type of call blending and pacing strategies you can use. Our pacing algorithms allows you to set by group or by specific campaigns different pacing type strategies. You can incorporate applicable industry patents. Noble has a large inventory of intellectual property and patents on our technology. We actually hold the patent for predictive dialing and a lot of the subsets of that. So we are the leaders in the software side of the call center solution, and having that ability to be able to have the control over our technology really gives you a great advantage as far as an end user. And we have a lot of highly defined strategies and a lot of highly defined technical settings within the system that are made available to you, so you can adjust your environment based on the efficiencies that we have built within our system. We have predictive, preview, and compliance dialing modes. Agent-aware blast pacing for automated outbound, interactive, or opt-in. So I mentioned before that you'll have access to IVR. Maybe you send out an outbound IVR that maybe is just generating some interest or generating more calls. You can give them the option to do opt-in, so that's part of the service. And then dynamically change dialing priorities. So we have different fetch technologies, filtering capabilities associated with your business rules, contact attempts, and then per call templates. Per call templates could be something like maybe you're going to do 5 attempts on a phone number, and the first attempt you hit an answering machine. Well, we can leave the default answering machine message. On the second, third, and fourth attempt, maybe you don't hit a live person, but then again you may hit an answering machine, in which case you do not want to leave an answering machine message. And on the fifth and final attempt, if you hit an answering machine again, this time we can leave an answering machine message, but maybe it's a different message. So we can do something different every time you make a call. Essentially, if you can flow chart it with decision-making condition, yes or no type answers, greater than or equal to, we can probably set that up in a filter to be able to allow you to dial that way. And those filters can be initiated at any given time based on what your dialing strategy for that particular project or that particular day is. I mentioned IVR, so we have inbound and outbound call routing capabilities. We've got a fairly sophisticated DNIS or skill-based routing tool that gives you the capability to create an unlimited number of skills that you can use based on your business requirements. You can assign those skills either to an inbound DNIS, or the number that's dialed, or to actual agents. And you can combine skill-based routing and DNIS-based routing together. You can prioritize those calls that come in on, maybe you have a circuit that's designated to your high-priority customers. So a call comes in, we recognize it, and we actually can prioritize it and push it right to the front of the queue. So that's the very next call that's handled. Likewise, under the agent skill-based routing, you can identify an agent that's maybe a bigger producer or is more proficient within a certain area, and you can identify them as being the agent that you want the first call to go to. If he's busy, you can have lower priorities for those agents. So essentially you can set up your call center for your most productive people to handle those inbound calls as quickly as possible, so it will make you more productive. The IVR manager allows you to create an easy call flow using our IVR builder. If you are using IVR, we'll give you training along those lines. You'll be able to create your own or maintain your existing IVRs. You can incorporate text-to-speech for personalization or interactive type call flow. And then it's modular, so you can combine one segment with another segment. So if you've got something that you use repetitively and you need to put it in another IVR routine, you can just refer to it in a modular type format. Our interactive call routing and IVR incorporates business rules and formulas to derive the specific call routing. You can utilize the Noble database and external database in the IVR flow, and it allows for both inbound and outbound call flow. Quality assurance. I mentioned that we've got digital recording. We have a digital recording playback application, which is the example below for voice recording. It will do 100% recording or based on business rules. When you are pulling up your recording, it can be pulled up by different criteria. The criteria can be call date and time, campaign, maybe the agent or a phone number. Plus we have 4 filler fields that you can attach, maybe account numbers, a customer code, maybe a franchise code. So it makes it easy for you to identify and pull up the recording. On the right-hand side is an example of our quality assurance or our scorecarding application. That's built right into the system. At the campaign level, you can create a scorecard. So if you're going to make the effort to listen to the recording, this gives you the ability to actually scorecard it. So you'll be able to get some information back as far as the quality of that scorecard and be able to act accordingly. Maybe you've got some agents that are performing at a very high level, and you may want to use their recordings for training purposes. Or maybe someone is not performing up to the level that you'd like to. You'll be able to identify it and maybe suggest additional training for them. So that is available to you through our quality assurance and recording piece. As far as developing the agent desktop, we've got what we call our Composer Builder. Essentially what this allows you to do is, through a drag and drop grid type environment, create your desktop environment. Essentially, as I mentioned before when we were looking at the agent screen, this is where it's composed. This is where it's created. You've got multiple capabilities within the system to have text boxes, display boxes, navigation buttons. We've got web services built into this. It does give us the capability to do a lot of different things as far as the Composer Builder goes. Part of the training will involve teaching you how to use this tool so you can create your own environment. As I mentioned, it can be very simplistic in nature, where maybe it's just a simple talk-through script where you're not using paper-read scripts anymore. You can embed it in there, or you can get very creative with it, where you're going to do data capture, data view, things of that nature. So, our Composer Builder incorporates a lot of different features and functions that you'll be able to utilize. Mentioned before about our mobile manager. We have an application called Harmony. It's actually an award-winning software package. Customer Interaction Solutions magazine picked us as the product of the year. Essentially what it is, it's our management console that's been put into a browser window, and you are able to utilize it either by roaming through the call center. You can attach a headset to this so you can monitor and coach and even barge in on calls. So you can do it off of your iPad or any remote device. It provides you with real-time information, not only just your agent screen, but we can combine things such as our alerts can go in there. We can look at things such as phone lines, dashboards, list assignments. And as I mentioned before, it's supported and can run in multiple browsers or operating systems. Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer. It can run in Linux, Android, Windows, or iOS. It can run off of a tablet, smartphones, laptops, or desktops. So it's got a lot of flexibility into it, and it's really moving forward. One of the things we're most excited about, we're going to be adding more and more features to this. So it gives you that remote control capability. And it also allows you to take your iPad outside the call center, log into your call center, and be able to control it while you're maybe out to lunch or even while you're at home. So you've got this device now that gives you that access into your call center 24 hours a day. Another feature within the Harmony is our mobile reporting capability. We offer you 26 standard reports. They're integrated in access through the Noble Harmony application. Each report has numerous filters that can be applied. So based on what your designation for either call dates and times, maybe campaigns, maybe list range, if it's agent reports, specific agents or groups, all of that can be designated. It can be pushed into the system, and then we'll produce this report for you. Now, one of the nice things about our reports is that once you create the report, it also automatically creates an archive. So if you have the same report on a daily basis and you want to look at prior results, you don't have to rerun the report. You already have that report archived for you. So it saves the results so you don't have to keep running the same report over and over. And the other thing that we have in there is schedules. We can schedule the reports, allows us to be able to have them run at specific times, maybe at the end of the shift, the end of the day, and then we can distribute that into many end users' email box. So it gives you that capability to export the information in either CSV format, PDF format, Excel spreadsheet, Word document, XML. So a lot of different variations as far as extracting the information. I mentioned the archive and the scheduling. So that web reports application gives you many different avenues to be able to get the data out on a timely basis so you can have control of your call center at any time of the day. So what are your next steps? Essentially, you should have already been contacted by your account manager. The account manager is really your number one point of contact. He will make everything happen. He or she will make everything happen. Essentially what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll schedule a business or technical assessment to fully understand your requirements. I've actually been involved for several months now doing a discovery of all the TelStar customers as far as some of the particulars that you have, the size of your installation, how you're using the system, whether you're using reports or scripts or call recording. So we have some of the information already, but we'll go ahead and do a deeper dive with you and listen to your concerns, walk you through the process of moving from the TelStar environment to the Noble hosted environment and work with you along the way. Your sales account manager will provide you with a written quotation and appropriate documentation to secure this limited time offer. When we say limited time offer, that Noble is going to move you from the TelStar platform onto the Noble platform with the same contract features and pricing that you had enjoyed with TelStar. So we're going to honor the TelStar the customer contract and be able to provide you with that same pricing structure moving forward. So, as far as your move, we're trying to make it as easy as possible and work with you in every way, shape, and form. But one thing that you'll see is that you're going to be moving into an enterprise style platform, and you're going to be paying the same price as if you were in the TelStar solution. So we're going to offer you more, and you'll still be paying the same price for that. After you approve the quotation and decide to move forward, we will create what's called a functional design specification, or an FDS. That document will outline all of your specific needs. It will be essentially your working document moving forward. The FDS has the capability to identify what your needs are, what you're using right now, how that will be deployed within the Noble Enterprise system, and then the project and timelines and deliverables that will actually be part of your contract. And then you'll also be assigned a project manager. One of the project managers for this is actually coming over from TelStar, Jason Slinsong. So he may be the project manager, and so you may have some familiarity with him. So he'll help you through the process. We'll implement and schedule do your training. The objective is to get you trained about the same time that the implementation takes place, so everything will seamlessly come together. So at the end of the process, you'll be ready to go live. You'll be fully trained. All of your campaigns and your data management, your data loading, your data interfaces will all be completed. So at that point in time, you'll go live, and then we'll hand you over to the support department. The Noble system, it is the same system that we offer for our premise customers. Our support people can handle both the hosted customer environment and the premise customer environment because it's actually the same platform. So as far as our support staff, we've got a large support staff that is being prepared to handle, your type of needs and your type of questions. So we're all looking forward to having you join the Noble family of solutions. Very last slide here, I mentioned before that if you need to get more information and you can't get a hold of your account manager, here's some contact information for us. You can contact us at the toll-free number, and they will get you to your account manager. You can email us, and we'll provide email response back, or you can always go out to our website and look at some of the information out there. So now what I'd like to do, based on the conversation, is see if anybody has any questions. Right now I don't see any questions that have been brought up. That must mean I did a very thorough overview of it. But of course questions will come up at a later time. If you do have questions at a later time, you can direct those through to your account managers. I'll leave it open for a few more minutes here. Essentially, a couple other things that I didn't mention in the overview that the Noble system company offers is we recently have been acquiring some new technology. We have, for about 3 years now, been working with a company called Nexedia to offer what's called a audio analytics tool, essentially where you're doing your quality assurance or you're recording playback. We can take it a step farther, where when you're doing your quality assurance, you can only do a small percentage, listen to a small percentage of your recordings. Well, we offer a tool called speech analytics, which gives you the ability to do 100% of your recording review, and we can identify keywords or phrases and point those out to a QA person so they can make their job more constructive, where instead of listening to the same type of calls over and over, what we'll do is we'll identify automatically using the speech analytics tool where the exceptions, or if someone did not stay with the prescribed script, or if they didn't sign off properly or thank them or enter the call properly. So there's a lot of different features in our speech analytics, and if you're interested in it, as I mentioned before, you can go and arrange a demo through your sales account manager. A couple other things that we offer is we have a product that we own. It's called ShiftTrack. It's a workforce management tool that allows you to create based on historical call information, and we can bring in your historical call information from the TelStar system. So based on what your inbound call volumes or your outbound call volumes are and your seasonal fluctuations, we can go and create a rostered schedule based on your agents' skill availability. Maybe the agents have different types of skills from different departments or different aptitudes, maybe language aptitudes. And what it does is it takes all these different variables and combines them together to create a very comprehensive type of scheduling tool. So our workforce management tool is available to you if you are so interested in it. And in that case, you'd also want to refer to your sales account manager. And last but not least, we do have one other application that we just acquired several weeks ago. It's a company called Austin Logistics. I mentioned before about our call filtering capability, where we can identify specific calls and make sure that we do the best call next. Well, what Austin Logistics, or ALI, offers us is the capability to do a very high-level data analytics. be able to identify specific trends within your data. Maybe you want to have particular types of calls being made, but you want to filter out only a certain type of customer. It might be a little bit too difficult to do it on the system, but this Austin Logistics or ALI product will allow you to be able to plug this in on the front end and do some very high-level analytics of your data. So we're not just moving into the call center solution area. We're actually incorporating a lot of the other technologies that can benefit you in the long run, and we're bringing them all under the Noble umbrella. So if you do decide to go with those type of solutions, you'll just have one call to make for support instead of working with multiple vendors, multiple companies. So we're very aware of what your needs are, and we are constantly moving to improve our offerings to meet your needs. The majority of our new development or the developed products that we have come directly from our customers' requests, and we encourage you to be actively involved in that. We also have a yearly user group that in the past we've had it in Atlanta. This year it's going to be in Orlando, Florida at Disney World, where we bring a lot of our customers in from many different industries and environments, and we bring them all in together in a centralized forum. We do some presentations as far as what our new technology or some training classes on existing technology, but it gives you the capability to interact with people within your industries or people that are doing things very similar to you. I mean, we can train you as far as what we know happens in your industry at many different levels, but you really can get some good information if you talk to someone else that's actually doing something similar to you, and they may be doing it a little bit different, so you may compare notes and you may walk away with some new friends or some new business acquaintances that will help your business in the long run. So those are some of the things that within the Noble Systems world that we're working on, and we're very dedicated to that. So I actually have not gotten any questions. I did receive something from Nicholas saying, great overview, very informative. Thank you very much for that compliment, Nicholas. I'll leave it open for another minute or two if anybody else has anything else. If not, I thank you very much for taking the time out today. If you do want to move forward, if you haven't already, please make arrangements with your account manager to do a one-on-one demo. It's either myself or some other members of our solutions engineering team will assist in that regard. If you do decide to move over to the Noble system, please make your decision as quickly as possible because time is of the essence here. We're working very hard on many different levels to help you with this transition. But we don't want the time to run out, so we're up against the wall where you may miss out some of your opportunity for productivity. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end today's webinar. Again, thank you very much. Look forward to working with you in the future. And if you do have any additional questions, please feel free to filter them through the avenues that I suggested in the webinar today. So with that, I'll go ahead and close the webinar. Thank you very much for attending.